Napoleon's story, from survival to hope. Napoleon was an abandoned dog who wandered aimlessly through the streets of Cleveland, with a gas station as his only shelter. For months, he was ignored, even though his sad eyes and expression reflected exhaustion and suffering. He was a survivor, but with each passing day, his struggle against neglect and hunger left him weaker. The This Is Houston rescue team learned of his plight and, determined to help him, spent hours searching for him. Finally, around midnight, Napoleon was found hiding in the back of the gas station, near some trailers. When the rescuers rescued him and put him in the car, his reaction was surprising. He simply settled into the seat, as if knowing that for the first time in a long time, he was on the road to a better future. But time was not on his side. Napoleon was exhausted, breathing with difficulty, and his fragile body indicated that he would not have survived much longer. If the rescue had happened a few hours later, it might have been too late. A race against time. Given the severity of his condition, he was rushed to the Vergy 24/7 clinic. There, veterinarians identified that his condition was critical and that he needed emergency surgery. To increase his chances of survival, he was transferred during the early hours of the morning to the Texas A&M Small Animal Clinic, where he received support with an oxygen tank to help him breathe. The tests revealed a devastating diagnosis. Napoleon suffered from a severe diaphragmatic hernia, the result of a long-term, untreated trauma. His abdominal organs had moved into his chest, compressing his lungs and making it difficult for him to breathe. In addition, he had lost a lot of blood, and his organs were stuck together, making his situation even worse. To stabilize him before surgery, the vets had to drain his swollen stomach through a gastric tube and reposition his internal organs. The surgical procedure was delicate and lasted 5 hours. By the time he reached the operating table, his prognosis was guarded. He was in critical condition and no one knew if he would survive. But Napoleon was a fighter. Against all odds, he held on. The slow but miraculous recovery. On the 8th day after surgery, he began to show signs of improvement. His hydration was restored, and, although his body was still weak, his expression was no longer one of pure suffering. On the 10th day, the vets noticed even more significant progress. Napoleon began to respond better to the treatment, and his strength increased every day. On the 36th day, a true miracle unfolded. Napoleon was no longer the skeletal, haggard dog from the gas station. He had transformed. His once frail body now showed vitality. His coat was once again shiny, and his eyes, once sad and empty, began to reflect gratitude and hope. He still needed to undergo heartworm treatment, but the worst was behind him. Now, Napoleon was no longer a street survivor. He had become a strong, healthy dog with a lot of love to give. His adoptive mother describes him as a gentle giant, loving, docile, and incredibly affectionate. He had overcome pain, neglect, and abandonment. All that was missing now was a forever home, where he could live surrounded by love and respect for the rest of his life. Napoleon didn't just survive, he was reborn. He deserves a happy ending. And now, finally, he's ready to receive it.